Hey everybody, welcome to Photography Chat, Season 2, Episode 25 with Chris Bartolucci. We're just going to get Chris on the line here and then we'll get going with the chat. I know a lot of you were worried about if this happened or not, but we just pushed it back a little bit so that it would work with Chris's schedule. So, y'all haven't missed out yet. And to those listening on the podcast or YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone is having a great day. And it looks like we got Chris here, so let's invite. And away we go. Hello.
Hi.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
It's very fitting.
Yeah.
I know those guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're okay.
Hold on one second. My pups are barking over here.
No worries. What kind of pups do you got?
I have two Lhasa Apso mixes.
Okay.
So we think we're like 95% sure they're mother and daughter.
Okay.
So it's super cute.
That's cool.
But my husband just left, so that's why they're going crazy.
Oh. Because they're just like, where's Papa going?
Yeah, they're like, wait, come back.
Yeah, doggos get upset about that kind of stuff.
I know.
They're such sweet little treasures, though.
They are.
Yeah, how's your day been going?
It's pretty good. You can't complain.
Nice.
Doing some photo stuff. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. How about yourself?
Speaking of which, the Instant Film Society just joined. What's up?
Oh, represent.
It's an interesting day up here in Canada because it's Canada Day.
I saw that, yeah.
But it's kind of a different kind of feeling for Canada Day this year. Because I don't know if you guys have seen in the news there's just been a lot of discoveries of mass graves at residential schools that were on the reserves, and so
Wow.
there's been this big kind of I guess sort of like cancel Canada Day kind of
Right.
just have a day of mourning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just down at Crab Park here in Vancouver, watching a bit of a demonstration. They had a big march in support of Indigenous folks.
Wow.
Unfortunately, don't have an orange anything, but my friend Juliana, who goes by Foot to Face, she's a fantastic artist, and she made these guillotine shirts.
Oh, whoa.
As a kill the rich kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I figured I don't have orange, but I'll wear the guillotine. So
Dang.
yeah. So it's been a heavy time out here.
Yeah.
In Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, we're familiar with the heavy times here in the U.S. too, so.
Yeah, I mean that's the joy of colonialism, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah. I think it's been a wake-up call for a lot of people because there's been a lot of people like, oh, well, those things closed down like a long time ago. And the thing that's kind of crazy is they didn't really close down that long ago. Like the last one was in service up until 1996.
Oh, whoa.
When I started high school.
Right.
And they never really stopped the gentrification and genocide of Indigenous people when they closed down the residential schools. They just deemed them too expensive to operate, so they switched to the foster care system instead. So they started taking, they still continue to take kids out of their homes and put them into foster care instead, and they still sterilize Indigenous and First Nations.
Jeez.
In 2010 or
Gee.
2021, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, like when people think about Canada, they think of this like, really sweet, joyful, utopian kind of place where racism and all that doesn't really exist, but it's
we all wanted to move there.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, experiencing both countries, I prefer the racism that you guys have in the U.S. over the racism up here in Canada because it's a little more cut and dry and
Yeah.
a lot easier to navigate than the racism up here. Being not not white.
Right.
It's it's been interesting. Anyways, on a tangent there.
Yeah.
Photography stuff today.
Yay.
So, I mean, I mean, most of the people on here, I think, are big fans and know you well, but we may have some people tuning in now or on recordings later that may not be familiar with you. So if you want to just take a quick moment to say a little bit about yourself.
It's so weird being on this side of it. I'm usually the one asking this question. My name's Chris. I've been a photographer. I graduated photography school in 2004, and we learned on film. That's how, back in the day, that's all there was. So I've been doing it professionally since then, basically. I host a podcast, a film photography podcast called Analog Talk with my co-host Timothy Ditzler, aka Timothy Makeups. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about film photography related stuff, and I'm also one of the co-curators of the Film Sorority, where we highlight amazing film photographers who are women, and we try to highlight different kinds of people via that Instagram account, and we're having a great time, and the support we're getting and the response to it has been phenomenal, and it's been great.
Yeah, that's been fantastic. Like what you and Danielle and the others have been working on there. Like it's definitely something that deserves much more attention than it gets.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been it's I mean, I say it's my favorite thing. I curate once a day, and it's my favorite time of day to go through and like look at all this incredible work that my fellow photographers are female photographers are creating, and to just getting the opportunity to share that and put that out into the world is really an honor, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, it's nice to see a different perspective instead of the like barrage of photographer photos that seem to get shared a lot out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so this must be a little different for you then, being on this side of.
Yes. I'm usually asking the question, so I'll do my best. I hope I do an okay job as a guest here.
That's fine. I mean, if it's more comfortable for you, we could do some
switch.
Yeah, we can. You can have some questions. I have questions. The format of the chat is pretty lackadaisical at best. I just like to have an organic conversation. And,
great.
I've never had an agenda at all. Like I have no idea what I'm doing with this.
Well, it's really wonderful that you're doing these. I love hopping in whenever if it pops up live when I'm available. I hop in to see who you're chatting with and try to say hi. So it really is fun, and I'm glad you're doing it. You should definitely stick with it because it's different because it's like in the Instagram format, which is like I don't think anybody else is really doing it, and I just think it's really smart and really cool.
Honestly, it's really lazy.
But it works. It works.
It works great. It does create a bunch of extra work on the back end because once I post it on Instagram and it goes on the live, then I have to use some like third-party internet tool to pull the video down, and then I upload that to YouTube, and then I use another thing to rip an MP3 of the audio from the YouTube.
Oh wow!
Post on the podcast stuff. But yeah, initially it's very easy because all I have to do is go click live. And
right.
Oh hi, we're live on the internet.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's been fun though. Like I can't believe that it's been almost a year of it. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary in August.
Congrats! That's amazing.
Yeah, which will be fun because I'm going to have a sort of like 1 year anniversary show with Jason Moore, who's the guy that kicked off the very first episode with me. So
Amazing.
we're gonna sort of commemorate the 1 year there. Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like, I'm glad that you enjoy them.
Yeah.
People seem to like them, and people keep wanting to talk to me for a while. So I just keep doing them. So it's been
Great.
fun. Yeah. So since you've been doing photography for so long, what has been your favorite part of it, and what kind of keeps you going with it? Because I think one thing a lot of people that do it for money tend to get this sort of burnout feeling at some point where they don't really enjoy it anymore, and it becomes work.
I talked about this a little bit before. For me, it's like it's like getting like paid to do it is really it's like a validation for me. So anytime I get a paying gig, I'm like, all right, I'm a photographer. Even though I don't like, or I'm a professional photographer. Like I don't think getting paid for it makes somebody a photographer. I think if you take pictures, you're a photographer, and whatever the medium is, that's what it is. But to have somebody like trust you with whatever job it is, whether it's a wedding, whether I'm on set, whether it's headshots, whether it's whatever, a band, whatever it is. If somebody says I want to hire you, it just for me, it's like that's the most exciting part. So I would say if I did ever get burnt out, I would say probably shooting weddings. I got a little burnt out, but now I'm so far away from that I'm like, man, I miss shooting weddings, So it's like the grass is always greener, but I feel excited when I doing it for work. It excites me. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I think you're the first person that has had that that feeling that they've shared with me about it, where they haven't gotten burnt out with it.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on the gig. I will say, like, doing senior portraits or something you hate to do. Like, if you can avoid doing stuff you just know you're not going to have a good time doing, that will, that's going to lead to burnout when you're like, oh, okay. If you don't like whatever specific aspect of photography you're doing and getting paid for, it's time to pivot,
Yeah.
Definitely. I think I pivoted when I moved to LA. I shoot weddings here and there, mostly second shooting, and it's few and far between now, but I do enjoy it because it's just so few and far between, But if I was doing them like 3 a weekend or 2 a week, like 4 times a month or whatever, these people, people do weddings like they have no lives. It's all a balance, I feel like.
I mean, that's everything though. Balance is
true.
It's super important, and it's something that I think a lot of us struggle with. Yeah, Stephanie says you have to go after the shoots you want to do so you enjoy it. Yeah,
Definitely.
Completely. So do you find you separate sort of like work shooting from like creative stuff, or is it all just sort of like one thing for you?
The on-set photography, I just recently did a shoot where I was photographing. I don't know if you probably Jake. Do you know the insurance company State Farms?
Yeah.
You guys. So Jake, the new Jake from State Farms. I was hired to. They were shooting like a bunch of like content for his Instagram basically, and they had 2 days of video, and they've set aside one entire day for stills. So I was on set, and we did like a million different breakdowns of this actor who was wonderful. I mean, we got him like cooking on the grill, we got him drinking coffee, making food in the kitchen. We got like I was on set for 12 hours doing all these different breakdowns, and it was just like the most fun I'd had in forever because I was the photographer on set. You know what I mean? And the crew was amazing, and it was just like I walked away from that shoot feeling really good and really like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do,
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to work on like such a big kind of production like that?
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I will tell you. I, I showed up and I second guessed all of my gear. I was like, I don't know if I have enough lighting, but it all worked out. And it was great. But it is for sure nerve-wracking. But when you nailed it, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, exactly. And now you know that you could do that again.
Exactly, exactly.
And the best part is, like, everyone assumed that you probably could do it anyway. So
Right. Nobody knew I was freaking out when I first got there at 7 o'clock in the morning.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing sort of like stills and set work kind of stuff?
When I came out to LA, that's kind of when I made the switch. I came out to LA with the intent of doing that, but I also thought I was going to continue shooting weddings. And then I got a friend of mine who kind of moved out to LA at the same time. Was like, "Hey, I just got this job on this film set. Do you want to see if they need a photographer?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that kind of like snowballed once you meet people and network, and you kind of go from there. Things have slowed down in that area. Obviously, COVID and things like that have,
Yeah.
but things are picking back up. So hopefully, I'll be on more sets soon.
Yeah, I mean, like in British Columbia here, as of today, our government has decided there's no longer, our provincial government has decided there's no longer an emergency, like state of emergency health-wise. So they've lifted the mask mandate,
Yep.
all of the things, which, yay.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
It's weird. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
You know, I
It's,
did get my second dose this week though, and it's been kind of kicking my butt.
yeah.
Yeah,
Give yourself what do they say, 2 weeks, and you'll have all the antibodies, so you'll be good.
yeah, and like I feel extra great about it because like um, I already felt like a guinea pig with my first dose. I got like the AstraZeneca, and it's just like
Mm,
I know all of the rational reasons that this is okay, but I also know that when companies rush things, it's
yeah.
never really ideal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just
um,
have to believe in the science, I guess.
exactly, and then
Yeah.
when I was getting my second shot, they're no longer doing AstraZeneca in Canada anymore.
Oh,
So
whoa.
my second shot was Pfizer. So it's like, oh, cool, we're gonna
Oh,
mix.
mix them. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's just like neat. I really feel like a guinea pig now.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is, it hasn't made my 5G reception on my phone any better.
You know, mine either. What a bummer.
I haven't gotten a direct deposit from Bill Gates yet. So,
There's still time.
yeah,
You never know.
someone says here that they got the Johnson and Johnson. They don't even do that in Canada. Like we had a shipment of it in, and it was tainted, and they were just like, "Fuck Johnson."
Nah.
And
Yeah. My brother got the Johnson and Johnson.
oh damn.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of perfect because he was able to come out for my wedding.
Oh nice.
If he had to get a second dose of something, he would have had to stay back. So it worked out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping the border opens up in the next couple of weeks, like they're teasing that it may, because there's a bunch of stuff down in the States that I'd like to head down for.
Yeah, you got to come back to California.
Eventually. So California is on the target, but the first place I'll be heading to is Texas.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to see the instant film guys.
You got to say what's up.
Exactly. And also, like, Jason is doing an exhibition for his Galveston book
Oh, yeah.
at the end of August, which
Yeah.
would be really cool. Like, his Oklahoma exhibition was really, really freaking cool. And
Oh, my God, he's incredible.
yeah, he's great and just, like, such a nice dude.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to check that out. And then, since it's so close to Polacon, I'm thinking of just staying.
Yeah, they're already saying Policon 2021.
Yeah. So if I know it's happening because Texas.
hmm
Danielle says, "Ew, Texas." I actually really love Texas. Like Denton's a place that I've seriously considered moving to.
Mm,
It was an easy thing to do, but you know,
that's
I'm a,
far from where you are.
it is far and it's difficult for me to get a visa because I'm an uneducated schlub. So
Mm,
if I had a degree of some sort, it'd be much
yeah.
better. But you know, this is the only time I regret not getting a post-secondary education.
Jeez.
Yeah, but LA is on the list because there's
Yeah.
so many people that I would love to catch up with there. It'd be great to see you guys, and
Hmm.
you know, why am I forgetting names? Oh shit. Jet Setter Jessica. It'd be cool,
Hmm.
Jessica, um, and catch up with Andre. And
Yeah, we have a whole LA crew. We were just shooting over the weekend, and every time we get together, it's like, probably because of COVID, like more people are coming out now, and I mean, it's the best to go to like a camera hangout, where it is. But like, it's just it's just a bunch of nerds who are like, let me see your camera. Okay, can I take your photo? Like, it's just,
well, the camera hangouts are the best. Like that's
yeah,
where I met you and Timothy for the first time.
exactly.
Was
Yeah,
at the Film Padea in
man.
2019, which you know, it's crazy to think that was like three years ago now, almost.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it doesn't feel like that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we were robbed of a year.
We were. I know. I keep saying if they ever do it, they're gonna have to make it like 2 weekends.
Yeah, I hope they do it again.
Me
I,
too.
um, when I had Phil on a couple months ago,
Hmm.
I bugged him about it and was like, "Well, would you guys do a virtual one?" And he was just like, "Nah, like they only want
Yeah.
a person,"
Right.
which makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Polacon did a virtual event last year, um, which was interesting. Like, it was kind of cool to like do the virtual thing
Hmm.
because it opened it up to people that have heard of it but have never been able to travel because they're like
Yeah.
out of the U.S. and stuff.
Right.
So that was kind of like a fascinating thing to see, like all those people from other countries that were like, "This is the best," and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but then all of us like OGs were like, "This sucks."
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want to be in person. This is lame.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
hang out and talk nerdy about Polaroids and eat Tex-Mex.
Mm, the dream.
Exactly. So you guys are still pretty active with setting up events down in LA then, or?
Yeah. It kind of they kind of happen sporadically. Anytime. Do you know Han? She's up in San Francisco. Anytime she's in LA, she at least she put together this last hangout. Um, but they kind of pop up sporadically, and but yeah, we've kind of, I would say probably like once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Like I think I follow Han, and I've seen the photos that JP has taken,
Yes.
um, but I don't think I've actually met them.
She'd be a great guest for this show. She's amazing.
Halation Station asked, "Do they have one of the 20 by 24 Polaroid cameras at Polacon?" So
Hmm.
they kind of do. Jason left behind his 20 by 24 at Armand's store when he moved back to LA. And I think Steve Reeves and a couple of other dudes are trying to repair it,
Whoa.
get it up and running again. But I think the problem is finding like pods and stuff for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to have the camera, but it's like another
I
thing
know.
to have the film and stuff for it. But I did get a picture at Polacon 2019 where I had my 4x5 camera next to the 20 by 24.
Oh, geez.
It looked so tiny.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you you got to go to Polacon to see the camera exchange because like
Right.
one of the coolest places I've seen anywhere. Like Armand has done a really great job curating his store, and it's such a funky space, and it really adds to the sort of like vibe of Polacon. And the Rubber Gloves rehearsal space where they do a lot of the events is also really
Hmm.
cool. And Norman Roscoe, where they used to do a lot of the Polacon stuff until it started getting bigger, has like one of the best places to shoot ever.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you've seen those photos of the sort of like janky brick wall that has like all the different textures behind it that a few people from Denton and stuff have posted.
Probably have. Yeah, I probably have.
Yeah, that's all done at Norman Roscoe at the upstairs. They just have like really cool space to shoot at. So just yeah, there's a lot of like really cool stuff that's worth checking out in Denton. Yeah.
Yeah. They usually
love that upstairs window. Sorry, go
they
ahead.
they do they know when it's going to be? Is it going to be September?
It's always the last weekend of September.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it coincides with the Texas State Fair.
We have to like see if we can pencil it in this year.
You're not allowed to bring guns in the State Fair, though.
Not allowed to bring what?
You're not allowed to bring guns in the State Fair, though.
Okay, duly noted.
Yeah. Even if you have your concealed carry,
yeah,
gonna fly in there.
I'll make sure.
It was like a weird thing for me the first time I went there. I was like, "What do you mean guns in the fair?"
Yeah. We're in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, September 24th to 26th.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna make a mental note right now.
Yeah, Stephanie, you should go. Everyone. Yeah. Finger guns, I think, are allowed, JP. I think you can get away with finger guns unless you get too spicy with them. So have you had a chance to, like, outside of, like, the film Bourdain and stuff, have you had a chance to travel to many sort of, like, photography events, or?
I used to go to the Photo Expo in New York almost every October because I was only a train ride away when I lived in Connecticut. So I actually, the last time I was there was the one right before COVID. And that's where I met like the Negative Supply guys, Saxon and AJ. And then there was a huge meetup after, I think it was the second night, before one of the nights of the expo. We all like met up at this bar and there was like so many photo people. It was amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I've heard about those events, but I've never had a chance to go to the photo expo.
It's definitely, the first time I actually ever went was when I was in photography school, because photography I went to, it was called Hallmark Institute of Photography. They were in Massachusetts. They have since unfortunately closed, but that was my first experience in 2003. And they're still, I mean, they've been going before that and they're still going. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And you can go to seminars. They have like some really awesome speakers. I saw Douglas Kirkland speak one year.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. So it's a good time.
What's been your favorite photography related adventure so far?
Why did you stump me, Merlin? Why did I get stumped? I feel like do you mean like a travel adventure, or do you mean like just in general?
Just in general. It could be a travel adventure. It could be, just a format or camera you played with that just blew your mind. Yeah.
I'll say, I don't know if this counts, but I'll say starting the podcast was like my biggest like photo adventure. It's something I wanted to do for a long time, and I was like super, super scared to do it. That and YouTube and the podcast I wanted to do for like ever. And then I finally like convinced myself and worked up the courage to just do it, So I always tell people all the time when they ask me like, is it too late to start a YouTube channel? I'm like, absolutely not. Because it took me way longer than I had wanted to. If I had just started when I first said I was going to start, like, I was like so intimidated by YouTube. And I just like one day was like, I'm going to make this happen. And now it doesn't scare me anymore. So I always tell people, look, if you're scared of it, that you have to do it.
Yeah. If
So,
you're not scared, it's probably not worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so true. And I like to like have lived through that is like, I'm telling you that is the absolute truth.
You've got a couple of fans here. Halation Station says, love the podcast. And Stephanie says, I really like your YouTube. So
Thank you guys. I appreciate that so much, especially since you guys know I was terrified.
So on the podcast, like what was the genesis story of the podcast? Like, how did you pick that up?
Yeah, so it was one of those things that like I said, I was like really like I kind of want to start a podcast. I don't really know why. I didn't really listen to podcasts before I started mine. Now I'm like, I look like true crime, like news. Like I listen to podcasts more than I listen to music now, But before that, I really didn't really even have that much experience listening to podcasts. So I ended up asking another YouTuber who put me in touch with Timothy, because he was like, if Timothy reached out to me, he wanted to do sort of the same thing. I would feel bad if we, do you mind if we include him? I didn't have any idea what I was doing, so I was like, sure. Long story short, that other person, he couldn't make it work with his schedule, and he sort of had a different vision for the show. I think Timothy and I were like, no, we want to talk to photographers. We wanted it to be about film photography. So our vision kind of lined up more. And Timothy and I have been doing it ever since. And we just had our 4-year anniversary like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Or like a week ago. Yeah, it was on June 20th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, yeah, and we've gotten an opportunity to talk to so many amazing people in this community. It's honestly my favorite thing that I think done ever.
I won't ask you to pick favorites because that's a tough one, but top 5 favorite.
Oh, top 5.
Yeah.
Like you mean top 2.
Top 5 favorite people.
I don't think I have. I can give you. Look, I'm not gonna do the favorites, so I'll tell you the most surreal one, and you probably already know who it is. But we had Jeff Bridges.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we had Jeff Bridges. Jeff does these really awesome like panoramic. He uses a wide lux camera.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? And he put out a book, and this I have to give credit to Birgit from Lomography, because I posted on Twitter or Facebook, and I was like, man, I would love to have Jeff Bridges on Analog Talk to talk to him about his book. And she was like, I know the publisher. Hold on a second. So she connected us, and I didn't think it was going to happen at all. I was like, no way. That's not going to happen. That's crazy. And they reached out and they were like, are you guys free on like Friday? And it was like a Tuesday. And we were like, yep, we're doing it. And yeah, he was great. We got about 30 minutes with Jeff Bridges. It's insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he just as chill as he seems?
Just as chill. Yes. Yes. And so sweet. So sweet. But if you listen to that episode, I haven't listened to it. I don't think I even listened to it once, because I know how nervous I was. So I get like secondhand embarrassment for myself, like I just like, we did it and we put it out, and I hope everybody enjoys it, but I'm like, I can't listen to it because I know how nervous I was, but he was wonderful.
I have trouble listening to myself also. So it's like when I have to do the posting and stuff and I hear like snippets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and also like when I've been interviewed for other things, I don't really like listening to them.
Yeah, you have to get used to the sound of your own voice for sure.
I hate the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
It's odd because like I have to do public speaking for work, so it's just always like talking. So I've gotten accustomed to it. I just still don't like it though.
That's fine if you don't have to like listen back to it,
Yeah, the times when I do have to listen back to it, I'm just like, that's what I sound like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Wow, that would have been like so wild to chat it out with Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping, like when it happened, I was like, maybe Timothy can like come to LA and we could like do it in person. But we did it on Zoom like normal. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I did. Oh, what's up, Pete?
Hi, Danielle. Hey, girl.
I figured out how to like get Zoom to broadcast on Instagram. All kludgy because I had to like stream it through my computer and do all this like weird shit. Uh, but it kind of sucked because like the first episode of this season I did with Jason, and we did it over Zoom because he was taking an Instagram break. So he couldn't do it over Instagram. And the thing that was like a bummer though was it's like a 3-hour time limit if you're using Instagram on a device.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
But it used to be a 1-hour time limit. So like all my episodes from last year are only long, and then like at the tail end, the last few, all of a sudden all of them go over an hour now because everyone gets chatty. But the streaming thing that I found on the computer to do Zoom on the grams, it cut out at an hour, and I didn't know it was going to do that.
Oh, no.
It cut out at like a shitty but good spot with Jason because like he had just finished this really interesting story and was like taking a pause to collect his thoughts, and the stream stopped, and he had like so much more to talk about, and like we ended up talking for like another like 45 minutes after the stream ended. But I was just like, fuck, this would
bummer.
Yeah, that's the only time I've been frustrated with this this platform. But I don't think that is a limitation now. But I also haven't had to do a Zoom with anyone else.
So did you do it? Did you like you Zoomed and then put it on Instagram?
Well, I wanted to stream live, so
okay.
I had it on my computer with Zoom, and then there's this thing called Stream On where you could like stream it onto Instagram through OBS.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, it was all kludgy, and my MacBook was like a huge piece of shit, and it could keep up with everything.
You're like sweating, like, oh God.
Yeah, and
please work, please don't fail on me.
Well, then I was just like, is he gonna show up? I hope he's gonna show up because he kind of confirmed, but I'm not sure. So it was nerve-wracking. Which is like, I guess, the one downfall of doing this live, because if someone no-shows, then you just
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I mean, the beauty of a podcast is I can be like, wait, go back, Tim, go back, let's go back, I start over. You know.
Yeah, I don't edit them, so
yeah,
it just goes out there and it's on the internet forever.
It's pure, that's how it is.
Well, and I mean, it kind of goes with like the ethos of how I like to shoot. It's why I like instant photography so much. It's like it's
that's
the purest
true.
you can get. You take that one frame and that's it. Unless you're shooting ep100 and then you can bleach the negative, but
right.
Or type 55, But I appreciate Rosie said, or Stephanie says that she'll always be a last minute guest.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm glad that she's feeling better. She just had she went through appendicitis and yeah, that's not very joyful.
No, sorry you had to go through that. Sounds painful.
What is it? Yeah, and Photography says I still have yet to bleach the negative. I do too. I have stacks of negatives that I've saved with the thought that one day I'll get around to bleaching them, and I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever experimented with that?
I haven't. The most I've done with like experimenting with Polaroid is I've done a Polaroid lifts, but that's about it.
I haven't done a Polaroid lift yet because I can't destroy a photo.
That's okay. So the trick is if you with the intention of like I'm gonna do a lift, I usually take a second one for myself to keep, because then if I mess this up, then I just have the Polaroid and I'll leave it.
I was thinking of using an Instant Lab to make copies.
There you go. Even better. So you can do it as many times as you need to.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this might be a way where I won't feel so bad about that.
Yeah, that's actually a great use of the Polaroid Lab.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I haven't used it in forever.
Yeah, Wutaru says still want to try and soup a Polaroid. I don't know how you would soup a Polaroid.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, so it's like the film soup thing where people... I don't know how you do that with a Polaroid.
Yeah, how would you do that with a Polaroid? Just like...
Yeah.
Dunk it.
You might have to like take them out and soak them in the dark, and then put them back into the film pack. Or if you're shooting I-type, you could just dunk the whole cartridge in the soup and hope that, well, the chemicals would probably get ruined though because
Yeah.
it's just paper on the
Yeah,
back.
I've never heard of souping a Polaroid before.
It sounds like a waste of
Yeah.
yeah.
It's too expensive to do that too.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. That's why I
Mm-mm.
haven't done an emulsion lift yet. I just can't bring myself to
See,
take
the
it.
emulsion lift is fun though because then it's like it's now it's a separate piece of art, you know?
That's fair.
So you can like put that in a frame and hang it up and then it's like it like makes it its own thing, you know?
All right, I think you've convinced me to try it.
You got to. The first time I did it was in photo school and it must have been it wasn't a regular Polaroid. I don't remember what film it was, but that was the first time I've ever done it, and I hadn't really done it since until I did it like 2 years ago now, probably. Like,
Oh,
yeah, it's a little painstaking too because you have to be patient. So if you're not a patient person, you gotta like really like because you have to peel it very slowly and make sure it's like the water's right, and if you rush, you'll just rip, and then you'll be even more upset.
I'm terrible with patience. I'm not
Yeah,
very.
I thought I had a lot of patience, but I was like, I'm gonna just rip it. I don't care.
So what's been your favorite or go-to instant camera?
I would say my sonar. I just reskinned this guy, my
Oh, nice.
SX70. I reskinned it, so she has all new leather on there.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, so she's got a new life um, now. So I've got a. This is probably my favorite Polaroid. Although I did just get a Polaroid Go. Have you played around with the Polaroid Go yet?
I want to get one. I've been
It's
thinking about.
so fun. It's super cute. It's like totally, I don't want to say takes the place of Instax, but if you're like more of a Polaroid person because of like the color and all that, it really is like it makes a Polaroid like more of a party camera. So you can take it like, out with friends and get those like little snap little memories, you know?
Yeah. So I shoot a lot of Instax squares like giveaway photos
Yeah.
for people
Yeah.
because it's cheaper. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe I'll try if I end up staying in Texas till Polacon, maybe I'll order it while I'm down there. Get that free shipping that we don't get when we order
There you go. Yeah.
because
It's definitely a fun camera.
it stings so much buying stuff from the U.S. up here
Oh,
because like
I
you know
believe it.
when I bought Jason's Galveston book, the shipping was just as much as the book was.
Oh, oh, oof. You gotta really want something to pay the price of the item as much as the shipping.
It's just the joy of living in Canada.
Mm,
You know? Shipping's expensive. We have lots of racism. It's great.
no good. No good.
Do you have any photo projects or anything you've been working on or like planning?
I would say my like continuous photo project is the podcast and the YouTube. Like that's kind of always what I'm actively working on. But I do need a good like photo project. I'm like I feel like I've talked about like being in a rut for a while. Um, but nothing as of right now as far as photo photography goes. But I'm like dying for a project. I'm dying for like whether it's a zine or I don't know something where I can just shoot like have a reason, or a purpose to go like make photographs.
What about maybe digging through your back catalog and like coming up with a zine idea from some of that,
Yeah,
or just feeling kind of stale with all of that?
yeah, I think I'm feeling kind of stale. It's always like I don't know if you can relate or anybody watching can relate. Like as a photographer, like looking at your work, sometimes you just like hate it all,
Yeah.
and so other times you're like, I'm pretty good. And who knows what day that's going to be when you wake up in the morning. If you're going to be like, I'm into this, or like I want to start completely over.
I've definitely had moments where I wanted to like light everything on fire.
Yes.
Be like,
I
everything
like,
I've done to this moment is hot garbage. And
yes. Like I want to like completely redo my website, archive my entire Instagram, like figure out whatever my style is and just do that for the rest of my life. Um,
I tried
yeah.
archiving my Instagram once and I gave up because there's just too many photos on
Yeah,
it.
there's way too many. Matt Day did it. He had a lot. He had like in the thousands or 2000s. We were tweeting back and forth because he was like, I think I found an app that'll do it. And then I was like, okay, report back. And he was like, nah, it didn't work.
Yeah,
So he went through and like did every single one.
I'm at 6,300 posts right now.
How many?
6,370.
Oh yeah, I think I'm at like 3,000 or maybe not. I don't want to say the completely wrong number, but it's a lot, and that would just take you forever.
I tried once and I was just
Yeah,
no.
and
And
I think doesn't Instagram like how they stop you from like, hey, you've done this too many times, like you gotta stop or whatever.
yeah, if you try
Yeah,
to do too many actions, it thinks you're a bot and then it gets
yeah.
all happy with it. And last year, I was writing a blog post about my relationship with Instagram and how odd it's been because like I've been using it basically since it launched. And I was at like 5,000 some posts then, and I wanted to see how long it would take to scroll all the way
Uh-huh.
down. And it was like 4.5 minutes of like constant scrolling to get
Yeah.
from my
And
feed.
what's crazy, I think my first Instagram post must have been in like 2012. But like just like going back, and now it's like sort of a portfolio for
Yeah,
most of us. But before that, it was like selfies and like
exactly.
like
Food.
I was out with people hanging out, like so you're like going back in your life, like you're like, wow, time machine.
Yeah, it's almost like an archaeological dig in some ways.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's like if you scroll back, you'll see like, here's the food that I ate. Check me out.
yeah. And you're
I
like, where
traveled.
was I? I don't even remember what day this was. Like, who is this person? Like,
Yeah, it's like photos of my dogs and my ex-wife if you go
yeah.
far enough back. In the last 4 years, it's kind of turned into like a portfolio thing.
I
And
think that's kind of why I want to archive I wish that you can just be like archive all, you know, because that first stuff was like, especially the beginning of Instagram, it was like you could only, I remember when you could only take a photo with
yeah,
it and use the filters. There was no like importing of your own, you
what
know.
was your favorite filter back then?
Oh, I think, oh, I would if I saw them, the names. There's one that was like pro something, I think.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? That was a good filter.
I used Nashville and Moonraker.
Ooh, yeah. The old school. And it's funny, they're still there. Those filters are still there, but just
I I haven't used them in a bit because it's like it's been interesting, like especially since starting the chat. I've kind of realized my Instagram isn't really my own anymore.
mm,
So it's like I don't post like personal stuff on there, like photos of
true.
me and stuff, because it messes up
Right.
the
Yep. I
so
know.
now
Now if I want to post a picture of like my husband and I, I'm like, well, I have to take it on film. So I have to get it developed. And then I gotta
well, so I do sneak digital stuff on my thing. Like I'm not a film snob where it's just like,
mm,
oh, you can't use digital, like, that's
right,
only
right, right.
use that kind of stuff. Um, but it has to like fit in with all of the stuff. So I have
Right.
to like start a private Instagram for like, my candid shits and
Yeah. I had a second Instagram for a while, but then it became too much. Like if I'm just gonna post my work, I'm just gonna do it one place
yeah.
because people would like tag the wrong account and that bugged me for some reason. Like, no, you tag my personal account or like you tag my professional account. Like I was like, forget it.
It's also kind of weird too, like, because I set my private one or my personal one is private, and I get the randomest people trying to follow it. Where
Mm.
I'm like, I don't even know this person. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
are you trying to follow me right now?
Weird.
Yeah, Instagram has been an interesting experience.
Have you been on photo Twitter at all?
So I do check it out from time to time. So like I have a weird relationship with Twitter because like I kind of hate it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll pop on and off of it from time to time, and honestly, I think I spend more time on TikTok than I do Twitter.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a dangerous place.
it is. Luckily, I'm satisfied enough with people reposting, like posting the good TikToks to Instagram. So then I'm like, I feel like good. I don't need to like go search for the good content. Those people are sharing the good content already.
So I haven't had to really search because like my For You page has been pretty solid, but for some reason I think TikTok believes I'm a lesbian, and so most of my stuff is like lesbian TikTok or cats.
That's some good content.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely better than like, bro TikTok or like,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
terrible things are out there.
Hmm.
So I have not disliked it so far, but Twitter has been like an interesting one because I've tried to like get into Twitter and I've followed some photographer people on there, but like Twitter's also kind of weird because most of the people I follow on there and most of the followers I have are from like my tech job world.
Mm.
I think that's also why I don't like.
Yeah, I think the trick is to follow more like photo people,
Yeah,
and then it will kind of like build up on itself, to where you'll see more of that content.
but it's just another thing to feed,
It is
which
100%, 100%.
it's Instagram is already enough of
Yeah,
feed me see more.
it's true. That's why I've steered away from TikTok. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
I It's a tough one. So I like it, and I was like a TikTok lurker for a bit, and then one of my compatriots up here in Canada was like, "You can't be a creeper, bro. You got to post it."
Yeah. I I actually, so I shouldn't say I actually have an account. I have two videos on there, but that's like the most I've done. I'm not, I haven't, I'm not on there like Twitter and Instagram every day,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
know?
on there like either. Like I have a hard enough time trying to keep up with like reels and shit on Instagram
Yeah, yeah.
because you have to do all the different things now so
Right,
the algorithm likes you and
right.
yeah.
Damn algorithm.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I wish that they could revert. I know they can't because it would require them like recoding the whole thing, but like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I missed the proper timeline.
right. I feel like that was so long ago though that we had the proper timeline.
Yeah, it was like 5, 6 years ago,
Yeah, but
maybe.
I was say I was scrolling yesterday. Yeah, and they showed me like the same person's last three posts, and the last three posts of them, they were like spread out. They were like over the course of like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, why am I just seeing his feed basically? Like, why am I not seeing other stuff? This is insane.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Summer J42 asks, "What's y'all's take on Flickr?"
Oh, Flickr. I miss Flickr. I miss Flickr so much.
I I think I have a Flickr that's out there, and there's some really terrible photos that I thought were great that are probably still percolating around on the interwebs. I didn't hate Flickr.
Flickr was like the first photo community I ever was like a part of outside of like school. That was like the first internet photo community I was like a part of.
So I think the first one for me was DeviantArt.
Oh, DeviantArt, yes. Oh
Yeah,
my God, throwback.
that's a real because that was like before Flickr, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still
DeviantArt,
I still
man.
have my DeviantArt account up, and I have not archived anything on there.
I
So
don't even want to look at mine.
it's all the cringe.
It's probably like, oh, such bad stuff.
I was such an emo fuck back then.
Yeah.
Just like sad boy emo poetry and like
Wasn't
shitty
it like
photos.
2004, 2005?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, bad photography was up there.
it's terrible. If you want to have a laugh about it, I think it's Infineon with a zero, or no, I can't remember. Yeah, Infineon at DeviantArt, whatever. Oh,
I
someone.
haven't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I haven't even thought about DeviantArt in forever. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's. I think that one predates them all, really, from a community perspective.
Hmm.
Um, it was a cool community too. So I'm glad that it's still around. It's like still thriving for some people.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was gone.
No, it's still doing well. Like
Wow.
it's actually pretty cool. They haven't really changed it too much. There's just more subscription stuff in it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But someone did ask earlier, what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, my YouTube is Chris B Photo. Pretty easy.
What's been your favorite video you've done on your YouTube channel so far?
Um, I've done. I just did a first impressions kind of review of Intrepid's Enlarger, like portable enlarger, and
Oh,
had
nice.
a friend, my friend Alan, helped me shoot it, and that was like, you know, it's I really commend all these people who like do YouTube for a living because it's a production. It took us it was a 2-day shoot, and it's like a 2-minute video of that, you know. But I think that's the one I'm like recently most proud of. But I also I did a tour of the darkroom lab. It was really fun. Phil gave me a tour of the darkroom, and then he was nice enough to sit and chat with me afterward. That was really cool. Anything that like that was like a planned video, versus me being like, oh, I'll talk about this camera today or whatever.
Phil's such a rad dude.
He's the best.
I enjoy talking with him.
Yeah, we gotta have him on. We've talked. Me and Timothy talk about all the time about having him on Analog Talk, and we just gotta get him to do it.
Yeah, he loves that stuff too. Like he was great on the episode that
Hmm.
I had him on. We had a really really good chat.
And just he like knows so much, and he's like been around it forever. It's like, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's cool talking to these guys that have been around for ages in it. Um, I've been trying to convince Michael Bain to do an episode
Mm,
with me, um, but he's reluctant about it. So I don't.
why?
He just doesn't like doing public speaking.
Yeah, I guess
And
it's a little different when it's live.
yeah, he just didn't seem interested in it,
Hmm.
which I'm like I respect that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, and he was like, I don't think I'd be very interesting, and I'm like, well, you're absolutely wrong there, because like
yeah, 100%.
you're super interesting. Like the chat that he did in San Clemente about
Hmm.
experience in the film industry, like that was such a cool uh,
Yeah.
discussion that he had there. Like
Hmm.
basically being like the last man standing for black and white film photography in North America.
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
Wild, yeah. And he's a really super cool dude. Like,
Yeah.
have you guys had Grant on the podcast yet?
Grant, what's the last name?
Grant Britton.
We have, yes.
He's
We had
so.
him on, I think, shortly after the Paideia, because we like
Oh,
met him in person. So we were like, please. Yeah, he's
right.
another one. Amazing career.
Oh, his career is mind blowing, and he, I don't really like to throw favorites out there, but he was my favorite person to interview so far.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
just because his candor,
Hmm.
just the way he speaks and the experience he's had, and he was the very first person that sent me like a body of work to post along with and so that's where it's like now when I post things, I ask people if they want to like
Oh,
share,
cool, cool, cool. Yeah.
because Grant was the one that started that. He's like, do you want some photos to share? And it was just like, sure, I guess. And
Yeah.
he sent 500 megs of photos.
Whoa.
It was just kind of wild. But he sent a bunch of his fine art stuff, which I'd never seen before.
Mm.
I'm familiar with his like skate photography, but like his fine artwork is amazing. Like,
Hmm.
he needs to get that out there more.
Seriously.
And he's also just a hilarious dude.
It's crazy, like we've talked to, people that have been doing it for a long time or whatever, but like just being like, working for like a magazine that was like thriving,
Yeah.
like what a dream, you
Well,
know?
not just, but he did two of them as well, I think.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that he was part of, and you know, kind of at the start of all that stuff, like that would have been a hell of an experience
yeah,
to
incredible.
get into. Yeah, can't really do that now because like
Now, now it
print.
feels like, I mean, there's like no publications like there, at least not like they used to be. And I don't want to sound terrible, but people don't think they need a photographer. They think they can do it on their phone or whatever. So to like when you were a photographer back in the day, that was like a big deal.
Yeah,
Like, you know what you were doing. People like trusted you versus like I have somebody who can do it. Like, no, like we have to get a professional.
well, my
I,
husband
I
bought a Canon thing that he spent like 5 grand on, so he could do it.
yeah, exactly. Ugh, exactly.
I kind of remember being grumpy in the early 2000s when digital cameras started to become really prevalent. Um, because it was just like, every asshole that could afford to buy a Nikon D70 or a Canon red
Yeah.
all of a sudden was like, I'm a photographer. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you just bought a camera.
I remember one of my photo professors, he was complaining about the camera on flip phones because it was 2003. He was like, people think this is photography, and I wish I could go back in time and be like, you have no idea what it's gonna be in 20 years.
Dude, like the camera on my 12
Hmm.
Pro, whatever, fucking new iPhone, it's insane.
Yeah,
Like, um, I don't carry my digital with me that much anymore if I go out because
right.
like my iPhone is almost better than my fucking digital
Yep.
is.
Crazy.
It's kind of wild, but it's funny that he was pissed about those old cell phone cameras because like I remember trying to take pictures with my Razor back in the day, and those things were
Hmm.
so shitty. Like,
Yeah.
cell phone pictures were not great back in the day.
No, but he I think he already like knew. He was like, this is gonna be a problem if people can carry a camera in their pocket. This is going to change the game.
That was Edwin Land's dream, though. He wanted
True.
everyone to have a camera in their pocket that they could use at any time. He just wanted them to buy Polaroid film.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's what he had in mind.
I mean, I still marvel at the SX70s because, like,
Yeah,
nothing else has been made quite like that. Yeah, that's the best party trick a camera has ever
yeah,
had.
right. He's like, watch this.
Yeah, and people were like, what? It's like, yeah, it's a camera.
Yeah, people. Yeah, walking around. There's a few cameras that get that kind of reaction. There's like this, and if you walk around with like a TLR,
Yeah.
people will like stop you, like, whoa, what is that? It's a camera.
Yeah, the TLR is fun, and then if you bust out a 4x5 somewhere, that's
Oh
always.
yeah, people really blow somebody's mind with that with large format.
Yeah, they're like, that's a camera. It's like, sure is. Like,
Yep. I'm gonna take one photo.
it's gonna take me like 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, to set this up. Get ready.
It's like, hey, do you want your photo taken? Do you got like half an hour?
Yeah, like,
Perfect.
yeah, hold still, don't move.
It's like, oh wait, shit, sorry, I forgot the dark slide. We have to do this all over
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I actually just got into 4x5. And I was shooting 4x5 this weekend, and I'm like so not used to it. Like I had, had a bunch of friends, and I was like, okay, can you just like make sure I'm doing all the steps right? Like I don't want to mess this up. Like meter, got it in focus, open the shutter, got it right, close the shutter, like pull the dark slide. Just makes me so nervous. Like the camera's gonna like fall over or something.
It's a lot of extra work.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's totally worth it
totally.
when you make it happen.
When you make that happen, it's just like a whole nother level.
Yeah, I'd mostly been shooting instant film with my 4x5 because I kind of hated developing 4x5 sheets.
Hmm.
But I took advice from Dave Rollins to pick up the Bees reel,
Oh yeah.
and that changed the 4x5 development game huge because like that thing works like a hot damn.
Yeah, I haven't developed my own 4x5.
If you get the bees reel, it's pretty easy.
What does that do? How is that?
So it kind of like it's a 3D printed
Mm,
cylinder that fits
yeah,
inside of a Patterson three reel tank, and you kind of taco
that's
the
right. Yeah.
sheets into the reel, and so they won't fly out anywhere. Because like I tried using a Mod 54 a bunch of times, and even at gentle rotations, the fucking sheets would fly out and they'd stick to the sides and stuff. And
Oh,
I was just like, fuck this, I'm not gonna do 4x5. But the yeah, retro photo York said Benoit. Um, yeah, if you like look up Benoit photography or Google Bees Reel, um,
okay.
like the best $70 you'll ever spend.
Mm.
It's totally worth it because there's no way for the sheet to escape out of the thing, and you can use less chemistry as well too. Like you only need to use like 500 mils of chemistry
Oh, wow.
to develop 6 sheets. So
Wow.
it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
It's
that sounds amazing.
um, some people swear by the Century one. I've never played with the Century one. Um, but it looks like it'd probably be a bit better than the Mod 54 because it looks like it kind of hooks into the film a bit better than the Mod 54 does.
Hmm.
Some people swear by the 54 too, but like I used it a handful of times and it made me hate doing sheets. So
Yeah, you can't hate it. That's like the main thing about developing film. Like I'm kind of I've I recently I've been like I don't think I'm the person who likes developing film, and that's okay. You know,
yeah,
like a lot of people, find it very like, zen. You can relax and chill, but I just get stressed out. Like I'm gonna mess it up, so I'm like stressing too much.
I stress out about it a lot too. Like it's I I don't like the dark bag. The dark
Hmm.
bag like gives me a lot of anxiety because like my hands end up being like a different temperature than the rest of
Right,
my body.
right, right.
Start giving me like an anxiety attack because it's just
We're
like
yes.
why are my
We
hands sweaty when the rest of my body is okay?
Timothy, we always joke because we do like a develop and hang for our analog talk Patreon, and we call it the film sweats.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, and I just feel like last time I did it, I feel like I was like sweltering, like I was because it was one of those hot days, and I do it right in our hallway where our laundry is, and like the sun was coming in, my arms were already in the bag. I was like, I'm overheating. It's stressing me out.
Yeah, I used to be part of a group in Toronto called Gallery 44, and we had like a production space that you could go work in, and it had this sort of like creepy dark room that you could go into that was
Hmm.
for like film loading and film changing. Um, Pretty sure that building had ghosts in it, and that was like
Oh,
really creepy to be in the production space by yourself at nighttime in the total dark in this
no,
tiny
thank you.
room. It was super creepy, but it was a lot better than the dark bag because
Yeah.
your hands didn't end up getting to be at a higher temperature. I
And
don't.
what's crazy is I used to do it like because I learned that's how I learned. Like I was 16 and I would like anytime I shot film it was black and white and I developed it myself and I had like a makeshift darkroom downstairs in my parents' basement. So I like would sit in my closet with the door shut and like my back turned so the light wouldn't come in and I would load it up like not in a dark bag and I swear I was way faster. Like I've completely lost all of the skill. Um, but yeah, I mean, I used to do it. I used to do it all so much more frequently. Obviously, if you're doing a lot, you're going to be good at it.
Yeah,
But I'm like, man, I used to be so good at this. It sucks.
JP was laughing about the tickle tent, and Pete says the darkroom he uses is totally haunted, and we've talked about that on large format Fridays, which we've fallen behind this month. We're gonna have to get back on that.
No,
Um,
thank you. No,
I'll get.
thank you. No, no haunted dark rooms, please.
Well, so you believe in ghosts then?
I mean, if it's, I mean, I don't know. If you told me it was haunted, I'd be like, I don't. I'm not gonna try and find out. Like,
Well, I mean, now that we know that aliens are completely official because the government has like shared that with us,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is like mind blowing that like that just sort of dropped in the bucket of news and sort of like
Nobody cared. Yeah, it was like boop.
yeah, everyone's like, oh, cool aliens,
Yeah,
sure,
I think we had such a crazy year. We're like, sure, why not? Anyway,
yeah,
back to
yeah. But back to Trump being like the legitimate president of the United States. Um,
oh my gosh,
so if aliens are real, I wouldn't be surprised about ghosts,
it's
honestly.
true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely have experienced some weird shit in small towns.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm just thinking about like that would be like a really like funny like ghost story, like a haunted dark room. That's not like it needs to be like a scary movie or something.
Hmm. There was that one R.L. Stein book, and I think they made like a TV episode or something out of it, where it was like the haunted Polaroid. That if you like took someone's picture with it, they'd like die.
You know what? I will admit to you right now, I have almost the entire collection of Goosebumps books.
There's nothing wrong. I read it
That
as a kid. I
was
love.
like my jam when I was a kid.
They
So
were the best.
a couple years ago, I was like browsing eBay and this woman had like the entire collection for like $200. I'm like, I'm buying that. I need my childhood back.
You should have those in your studio displayed prominently.
Yeah, they're right. They're in our we have a bookshelf, a built-in bookshelf in our new place, so they have their own spot there. But yeah, maybe I'll look for that Polaroid one and see if I have that one.
That it's such a good book. I like that one.
I
And,
just
and
like was like rereading them once I got the collection, and it's like so such a good like kids. It's like for kid like when you were that age, I it was so good because every time a chapter ends, like it's like a cliffhanger. You're like, oh no,
yeah,
and you like keep reading, you know?
because you're like, I need to know more, and like
It's so good.
they were great. And I think on that book, it was a haunted SX70.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna see if I have that and I'll send you a message. If I do, that's what I'm gonna read tonight.
Yeah, it was so good. It's nice to meet another Goosebumps fan.
Oh my God, ask anybody. Like every time people come over, like they'll like if they catch a glimpse, they're like, "Will you have the entire collection?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and JP's right. There was also another horror movie based on Polaroids that I think
Oh,
was
interesting.
either like a ripoff of the Goosebumps book or like close to that sort of same story where it was like a haunted camera that like
Creepy, creepy.
yeah, Paul is right. I think it is on Netflix too. So
Ooh,
yeah, I mean, who doesn't like a cheesy horror movie?
especially when it's film related.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm trying to think of. I can't think of any other like film related movies right now other than Kodachrome.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Like that was really.
We were actually just talking about the Secret Life of Walter Mitty the other day.
Ooh, that's a great one too.
I'm like due for a rewatch of that because that just like hits you, you know? Damn.
Yeah, because spoiler alert, the best photo he ever took, it was Walter Mitty.
Yep. So
Oh
good.
shit! 1 hour photo.
Oh,
That is
that is
like
like a for real scary movie though.
that is a
Yeah.
for real scary movie, and that is like that's Robin Williams at his like best. Like
Yeah.
everyone loves his like comedy and his fun stuff, but like he plays a creepy murdery dude really fucking good.
Yeah, he's done it. He did it a couple times too. Like
Yeah,
anytime he was like, I forget what other movie, but he was like also like that same like weird bad guy, and you're like, no, I can't.
yeah. Like it's just he was just really fucking good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Memento was good too with the Polaroids.
I had never. That's one I haven't seen actually.
Yeah, because it was like Polaroids and tattoos is how he like remembered his life.
Mm,
Um, Another like so a Robin Williams one, not photo related, but it's like he plays a bad guy, but it's kind of a funny bad guy. Death to Smoochie.
Oh my God, that's a smoochie. I haven't thought about that movie in forever.
It's such a good movie.
And it's like I feel like not many people know about Death to Smoochie, I don't think.
No, it's super underrated.
Yeah.
Many good actors because you've got Robin Williams, Catherine Keener,
Yep.
Edward Norton.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, like man, just they're so good, and just like you can totally picture that that's like really what kids shows are like that
Right.
sort of like dark side of like the kids TV industry.
That's another
Like
one I gotta revisit. Death to
yeah,
Smoochie. Oh my gosh.
he's Rainbow fucking Randolph.
Yeah. Oh my God. R.I.P.
Yeah, it's it was a sad one. I don't really get affected by celebrity stuff too often, but
Same.
his was a his
That was a
felt like
blow. Yeah. Plus,
yeah.
I lived in LA at that time, so like there was like, we miss you, Robin, like stuff all over the place, or thank you, Robin, and I was like driving down Sunset, like, no.
Yeah, the only two celebs that really like I felt bummed out about in like any kind of emotion towards was when Robin Williams passed and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I got pretty
Yeah,
bummed out about that one.
yeah.
And
They're both, I mean, so young, Ugh. And just
yeah,
like, I actually saw a guy who looked like Philip Seymour Hoffman walking down the street the other day, and I started thinking about like, man, he was so good, and like we're like even like Heath Ledger too,
oh yeah.
you're just like we're not gonna get, we're missing art that they could have created.
So and tying it in with the Jeff Bridges connection here, Philip Seymour Hoffman's role as Brandt in The Big Lebowski.
So I will
So
tell you, I
fucking
I,
good.
I haven't seen that movie.
You okay? You need to watch it
I
because
know.
it's
Because everybody, when I posted about Jeff Bridges, everybody was like, the dude, you're having the dude. And I was like, I don't know what that is.
so you should put that at the top of your list of movies to watch.
But
Is The Big Lebowski. It's it's aged super well. It's fantastic, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is so fucking good in it. Like
yeah.
he's super great. And Danielle says Anthony Bourdain and Gene Wilder. Those were bummers
Oh,
too. Like
yeah.
Gene Wilder was such a staple in my childhood. Like, I loved all of his movies, and the work
Right.
he did with Richard Pryor was so good.
Oh
Like
my gosh. Yeah.
a great duo. And Anthony Bourdain, like, um, yeah, like they're all really great examples of like check in on your friends because
hmm
you know even though they seem like they're probably doing well and stuff like that, you never know because it's it's hard, like emotional, like depression, all that kind of stuff. It's a hard struggle.
Yeah,
So
especially like with somebody like Robin Williams, you think like he's the funny guy. He's great. He's fine. But you
yeah,
never know.
no, and that's usually the case. A lot of times, it's like sometimes it's the most outgoing people that are having the biggest struggles, and they're just sort of they have that persona as a way to like cope and like they don't want people to know what's actually going on.
hmm
um, Sometimes it's scary, like I mean I've experienced that myself, when I've shared some of my personal struggles with people. It's like weirded them out and it's changed the
Right.
dynamic of our friendship or relationship or whatever. So yeah, there's still a lot of stigma around mental health, unfortunately, which hopefully one day we can break and get past.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why Danielle's grandfather went to the same high school as Gene Wilder.
What? No way.
Yeah, I mean, like Gene Wilder was fantastic. Like his Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory,
Yeah.
or sorry, his
Classic.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka was the Johnny Depp one. Um, the way that Gene Wilder was like so terrifying.
Yeah. There was parts of that movie I remember as a kid I could not watch.
Yeah, like the tunnel.
Yeah, it was a tunnel. Yes, you
Yeah,
know exactly what I'm talking about. The tunnel with the
the
chicken getting his
tunnel.
head cut off. Nope.
Yeah, like that. That one was wild. And just the way that he could be like, super kind and inviting, and then snap show into
Yeah,
the kind of like psycho. Um, yeah, he he's something else.
that's another great movie.
Yeah, they don't make actors quite like that anymore.
Nah.
Yeah, that was a great era for movies. Chris says rewatching the tunnel scene as an adult. Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's still
I think it would still freak me out. Yeah, I would be like, nope, nope, nope. And
yeah, that was a tough one.
it was supposed
But
to be like a kid's movie, right? Like,
he was also really great in Blazing Saddles. Um, and like Mel Brooks was like
oh my God.
the he's so good. Young Frankenstein, that one was like excellent too.
Yeah. I need to rewatch all these movies now. We have like a movie night and just binge.
Yeah, you got it. Um, it's kind of funny that we end up on movie tangents quite often on the chat. Um, it usually leads to Nick Cage most of the time. So this is nice that we haven't gone on
That's
a
hilarious.
voyage. Yeah, Danielle says I love Young Frankenstein. That one was a brilliant one, and that was all written by Gene Wilder mostly.
Face Off. That's a great Nick Cage. So Nick Cage, he had a really good career in the 90s. Like he was like what was up in the 90s, you know?
On fire.
Yes.
Yeah, and so Con Air, so like I would have to say Con Air and Face Off, top two Nick
Yeah.
Cage movies, because like it shows how dynamic he could be. Because in Con Air he's like this like good old boy that's like
Yeah.
fighting for what's good, and he just wants to bring the bunny home. And then Face Off, he's just this like epic douchebag. And
You know, him and Travolta are both really good in that.
they're fantastic. You know.
Like, ugh.
But that whole thing is like, I want to take his face.
Yeah. And like what we like believed in the 90s, we were like, yeah, that makes sense. You can just take his face. I mean, John Travolta's probably like 15 pounds heavier than Nick Cage, but I believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't, it's just your face and now you're that person. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. The face, the voice, Peach, he could eat a peach for hours. Now you're Castor Troy.
Oh my God. The 90s were so good for movies, man.
The 90s were wild. Like, fucking, and well, in the early 2000s too, like, Hugh Jackman in Swordfish. Like, their version of hacking in that movie is fucking hilarious. And that was also, like, another really good John Travolta movie, too. He had some pretty good ones. I'm not.
Yeah, John Travolta. He was also like 80s, 90s. Like that was his prime, you know.
Yeah, that was his prime. Yeah, I would also have to say, The Rock for a Nick Cage movie is also pretty legit. And I just watched this like crazy conspiracy YouTube thing where someone was just like, The Rock is actually a James Bond movie.
What?
Yeah, and it kind of made sense because Sean Connery in The Rock ends up actually being like they were like he's James Bond, like he got and like the timelines and everything like match up. So like in the Bond universe, everything about the character that he plays in The Rock lines up with the Bond universe, and so it's just like holy shit, did Michael Bay create like a stealthy Bond movie with Nicolas Cage in it?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Another Nick Cage movie I like. This is like a major chick flick, but I almost said Angels in the Outfield, which is also a great 90s movie, but not related at all
That was a good
to
one.
Nick Cage. City of Angels.
Yeah, that was a great one too.
Because that was like, I mean, that movie was like set in LA, and I had always dreamed of living here. So that was like anytime I was like feeling like I want to be in LA, I'll just watch this movie because it's set in there.
Yeah, that was a great movie too. Anyone
Prime
hear
Nick
Sean Connery
Cage.
in an accent? Well, I always hear like the Sean Connery accent whenever I think of like anything Sean Connery related. But the SNL celebrity accent
Oh yeah,
is my
yeah.
favorite. It's like just like your mother likes it, Trebek.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Dana Hammond is fucking the king at doing the Sean
So
Connery.
funny.
Like, it's so good. Photography Toast JPEG says, I want to sell my M6. Thoughts?
You can sell it to me for cheap if you want. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I got like $50.
Yeah.
I'll give you a hug too. Several, you know.
JP, what was the song from the City of Angels movie? Oh, it was that. Crap, I can't think of it right now.
Oh, let's see. Let's Google.
Oh, it was the Google Dolls.
Yes. Iris, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was like one of my high school relationship songs.
Yep. Sounds about right. Google Dolls. Yeah, Google Dolls.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that at all.
That's a good one.
It was a great one. I haven't
Yeah.
thought in a long time. It's crazy to think that like the 90s are a really long time ago. Like Jurassic Park happened 30 years ago.
What?
Right?
Oh my God.
Like it's just like, wow. How did I get so old?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, question, have
Yeah.
you checked out or seen this new land camera thing that's popping up on
No,
Instagrams and stuff?
I haven't.
So, it looks kind of interesting. They're being really sneaky about it so far, but it looks like a Polaroid 600 back for land cameras.
Who's putting it out?
They're called New Land Camera. Like that's
Whoa.
their Instagram is at New Land Camera, and they say it's compatible with series 100 to 400, all the Polaroid folding land cameras produced in the 60s, using Polaroid integral films, so the color in black and white, I-type 600 and SX70.
Whoa.
Yeah, it looks like it's a 3D printed back that you clip on to.
Yeah, that's what JP just said.
It's not. I don't think they have a Kickstarter yet. There's really not a lot of information at all, but it looks pretty interesting, and I would totally buy one. I think.
I
Yeah.
probably would too.
Yeah, because like I mean, when I run out of pack film, I'm gonna be sad to not be able to use my 195 anymore.
Pack film.
Right?
Oh, it's such a bummer.
Yeah. Do you have any left, or?
I do, but like I'm it's like what do I shoot it, you know? It's like once I shoot it then it's gone, but it's not gonna do anything in my fridge either, so it's like a catch-22. Because I remember when I first started I got a camera, and a friend had told me about it. Like, you can get this film, Fuji makes it, you can get it. It's like $10 a box. I was like, cool. So I used to like shoot it all the time, you know? And then now what people pay for a box.
It's insanity.
Yeah, I can't do it because I paid $10 for a box. So I'm like, no.
The last I paid for a box was $60. And that was when I tapped out. I was like,
Yeah.
and that I only bought like one box at $60, and before that it was like $40, and I bought a couple boxes at that. But when it started getting like 80 and up, I was like, no, I can't fuck with this anymore.
No.
Like it's but yeah, I thought about selling it because I could get a bunch of money for it, but then I don't know how good I would feel about that. But then I also don't have it anymore to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. You just
We
gotta
have
think.
to like whatever you do, like if I have like let me see. Sorry, be right back. My fridge is right here. Yeah. I've got one box.
You got one box left?
Yep. It's expired in 2017.
Take pictures of your loved ones with it.
You should.
Yeah. I don't want to show you what I have.
Just like keep it as a souvenir instead, like a dummy.
You gotta shoot.
I know.
Here, I'll show you this. Okay.
Thank you. These are all my babies. Oh my God.
It's all packed from behind the 667, and there's some one instant. And then a bunch of different Polaroid that I don't know if it works or not. I haven't gotten around to trying it. And
how do you like the one instant? I have one of those as well. I haven't shot yet.
the one instant is actually really cool. I like it a lot. And then if you're into medium format, Bo Photo in Vancouver, Canada here has this Pro 400H 120, and they're selling it for like $9 a roll right now, Canadian.
How much?
$9 a roll, Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want some cheap medium format, hit up Bo Photo.
Some cheap 400H.
Yeah, I mean, I hate Fuji, but that was so cheap that I couldn't say no to it.
You could probably flip it, make some money.
I thought about that, but I'll probably just use it, especially if I end up going to Texas for a while. I'll probably pack it with the Texas Leica and
there you go.
shoot some big old
Yeah.
into the Texas sky and stuff. Yeah.
I'm just realizing I completely lost the light that was in here. It's like getting dark on me.
Yeah, and Paul says he loves the cameras on your wall.
Yeah, thank you.
The one instant is interesting, but it's finicky sometimes.
Yeah.
And it also has a very odd odor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a strange
Stinky?
scent. It smells like semen.
No, Merlin. I was not expecting you to say that at all. Oh my goodness.
It's been confirmed by like other people that have shot it. And when I've shot it with model, like it was actually a model that I was shooting with. She's like, "Why does it smell like cum all of a sudden?"
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, this is awkward."
Oh man.
But it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. And the expired 20 by 24 is actually really interesting because you get some there's like an interesting color shift with it. It's a lot softer than you'd expect. Yeah, I really like shooting with it. But I've only really shot it successfully using studio strobes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Does it need like a lot of light? Is that why?
It needs a lot of light because the very first shot I took with it, I just tried doing like wide open on the 4x5, and metering said I should have been fine, but it wasn't. It came out really muddy and dark, so I've always overexposed it quite a bit using at least 2 strobes, and
okay.
it came out really, really nice.
That's good to know for when I actually do shoot it.
Yeah, just throw lots of light at it because it's expired but not expired.
Right.
So the positive is expired, but it's a brand new negative and it's a brand new developer.
Interesting.
So even though it's like 50% or like 75% new, because it's an expired positive, a little overexposure probably doesn't hurt.
Right.
It worked out well for me there. And I'm kind of curious to see what the black and white looks like if they ever end up shipping that out. Because I did order some of it, and then I forgot that I ordered some of it.
Yeah, I heard that they take a while.
They do take a while, but to be fair to them, it takes a while because it's completely bespoken. So,
right.
Like they're making it all by hand.
Right.
which is kind of wild. So it's like, these people are folding each cartridge and hand loading
That's
the
nuts. Wow.
thing. So that's why it costs so much. And like, when you think about it from that perspective, the price you're paying actually isn't that terrible when you
Right.
factor how much labor goes into
Right.
making each shot. And it's also kind of cool that, like, when the pack film dries up, this is an alternative to still being able to shoot land cameras.
Exactly.
Um, you know, it could be argued the same way people get pissed off about Polaroid, where it's just like, it's not the same as the old stuff. It's like, well, shut up. You can still shoot your like SLR 680 or your SX7.
Right, exactly. Can you imagine if Impossible Project never happened?
Well, so the thing that's wild is it came really close to never happening.
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't secure the factory, Polaroid would no longer exist anymore. Like, it's and like, when you read the story about like what Florian had to do to secure all of that, and like the short time frame that he had to do it, like, it was very close to like Polaroid completely vanishing.
We don't give him enough credit. He's like a hero for film photography.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
this format, it didn't deserve to die, and so
No.
it's amazing that him and all of the engineers and all the people that work to recreate a Polaroid compatible film were successful. Like, it's kind of wild when you think about it, because they had to literally start from scratch.
Yep.
And I still marvel at it every time I shoot a frame, where it's just like, this still works. This is so cool.
Crazy. I know, it's true.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a lot more credit. And I think like Super Sense will do some cool stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm curious to follow this new land camera thing and see where they end up, because it would be cool to have an easier option to shoot integral film in a land camera
Yeah.
without having to like send it off somewhere and have them completely like rip it apart and
Right.
do all that stuff. Because like, I've thought about doing that with my 195, but I still have enough pack film that it still has a life left to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Paul is asking about Type 55. New 55 is doing pretty good with their version of the Type 55. And they've brought back some ready load type stuff as well too, to shoot regular 4x5 sheets, which is really cool. So if you
Well,
have checking out the new 55 stuff, it's definitely worth checking out.
is it expensive?
I don't think it's terribly expensive. Where is it here? Famous format. Let's see. It's $75 for a pack, and there is 5 shots in each pack. So it's up there, but still,
Yeah.
that's not awful when you think about it.
Yeah, and if you're hopefully you're like creating something with meaning, you know? Like obviously you're gonna spend that money and like it's for a reason, you know?
Yeah. Or you just want to burn up money.
Yeah, you know.
No, nothing wrong with that.
No big deal.
And then their sheet film, the ready load stuff, is if you went with T-Max, it's $40 for 5 shots of T-Max in a ready load pack. So that's not terrible.
Yeah.
And Portra would be the same price, but it looks like they're sold out of Portra. Looks like their colors sell out a lot faster than the other things. But yeah, it's cool that there's a lot of companies that are still making making these things for our old cameras out there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're so lucky.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah. And they also have the 4x5 film holders. They're certified, so they cost a lot, but you could probably also like head down to like a Goodwill or something and find some for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, hopefully. We get lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. I've noticed it's been getting harder to find good deals. People are just
I don't like even really bother anymore with thrifting unless it's like I'm somewhere new, where I'm like, let me just see.
yeah.
But it's like, I think the days are over.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's there's so many people that are just doing it as like a daily thing and like
Hmm.
scooping up all the stuff all the time and
And
uh,
I also think it's like the time period, like people were getting rid of film cameras and now people are like getting rid of their first gen, second gen, like point and shoot digital cameras.
yeah.
So you'll find more so that kind of stuff, at least when I go, versus like a Yashica T4 or something crazy.
I've been trying to find just for shits and giggles a Canon PowerShot A75.
At a thrift store?
Yeah,
Mm.
because that was like my first digital camera that I ever had, and I think I pawned it in like 2000
I
something.
wonder what mine was. It must have been something similar. What year was that?
Oh fuck, that was like 2002 or three.
Yeah. I feel like my first point shoot was like 2006, 7. I had like a little Canon, little thin,
The Canons were the shit. I had a
yeah,
Kodak
power
with
shot or whatever they were called.
yeah, the power shots. I
Yeah.
had a Kodak that was just a piece of shit. Um, it was really terrible. It was just so awful. Complete potato quality.
Oh,
Uh,
bummer.
the Canon was dope, and then I
How
jumped
many
into
megapixels was that? Do you remember?
the A75. I think it was like 3 or 4 megapixels.
Yeah.
Where is it? A75. Let's see what the Google says. It
If we come back,
was
can you like
it was
see me
powered by
better?
it was powered by four double A's, and it was a 3.2 megapixel.
Ooh,
Um,
watch out. How much you spend on it? Probably like $400.
yeah, about that. Yeah, it was like $400. And then I upgraded after that to the D70, and that was like night and day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I missed that D70. It was good.
My first digital SLR was the Canon 10D.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
I have to ask it because it's photography chat. What's your favorite film camera?
I would probably say my Yashica T4, even though I haven't shot it in a while. This was like my homeboy,
Oh,
homegirl. This is what I like when I first moved to LA. This was like what I came with. And so I captured like a lot of my first memories in California on this camera. And I've had it repaired a bunch of times because I don't want it to die. But this
you
is my
can actually
favorite.
get them repaired. I thought
Yeah. So
did
I
you?
had some people will repair them. I actually had two, and basically they Frankensteined. They took parts out of the other one to put into here to make it like fully functional. So this is my last, like, she's alive. Hopefully she stays alive for a while.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But I
That's what
also love my M4. I have a like M4 that I really love.
I saw your Instagram post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been really like into um like SLRs. Like I have a Canon Elan 7NE, which
Nice.
was like that was like my first camera that got me back into shooting film because a friend of mine was like, you gotta start shooting film again. And I was like, film? What are you talking about? He's like, get this camera. It's like $100. I was like, okay. He's like, you can use your Canon glass already on it, so you don't have to buy any lenses. I was like, all right, fine. And then I shot one roll through that and was like, okay, game over.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
What's your favorite stock?
I really love Kodak film, but Lumography film is really good too. It's like Kodak and Lumography are like what I shoot mostly, but like Kodak Gold has really been like killing it lately. That's what I've been really into lately. But other than that, the Portra's probably, I know it's like basic, but
Maybe like Portra, it's nice because you can abuse the hell out of it,
right,
and it will always give you good results.
right.
Like, it's pretty hard to fuck up with Portra.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've learned the hard way that other films are not as forgiving
right,
as most Kodak products. Like,
right.
yeah. I also have a lot of love for Kodak, and if you ever get a chance, you got to check out the factory. Like,
Yes, it's like a dream, like on like actual bucket lists. Like that's on the list of things to do.
yeah,
Just
you
go
got
to
to
Rochester.
hit up Matt and just be like, let me know when you're doing the next intake, and
Yeah,
yeah,
let me come.
yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, Stephanie also agrees Kodak Gold is the shit. Another film I wish came in other formats.
Same.
Yeah, that would be nice if they had it. I wonder why they don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some manufacturing reason why they can't do it.
Well, I mean, it probably wouldn't be hard for them to do it because they would just have to like take the master roll for Gold or Max and just run it through the
Right.
cutter for like 4x5 or 120.
What the heck? Come on. Give the
Yeah,
people what they want, you know?
come on, Alaris,
Come on, Lawrence.
get it together, yo. I,
Seriously.
I'm waiting though for the Cinestill boys to bring back the 4x5 800.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, now
cool.
that I'm into 4x5, I would love to try that.
Yeah, it's. I've seen a few shots that people have done on it because they sent out a bunch of it to people when they did a run a couple years back, I think. And they look so good.
Mm,
I bought some of the medium format double X that I'm excited to try at some point.
yeah.
I haven't had something that I felt compelled to shoot with.
Yeah, I love their black and white film. So
Yeah,
good.
it's such a good film. Like that
So
medium
good.
X is a gorgeous stock. So I've seen a couple of sample photos that people have done of the medium format stuff.
Hmm.
It looks so amazing.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I appreciate you spending some time with me.
Yes, Merlin, this is awesome. Sorry, I'm like lost. I don't know. It got dark in here. I feel like I'm like.
No, it's no problem. It's getting pretty late here too. Um, kind of running out of steam from the shot.
Oh yeah, you should rest and drink water. But yeah, this was honestly an honor. This was so fun. This is the best.
It was great to have you on.
Yeah,
It's been nice chatting with you,
you
and
too.
it was great having everyone jumping in the chat and
Yeah.
thank you everyone for tuning in for another episode. Next week I'm going to have Allie Bartlett joining me. She's one of the co-curators at Northern Film Collective, which is
Cool.
a group that I'm part of here in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Northern Film Collective was founded by Becca Shoots Film, and she wanted to create something that amplified Canadian film photographers because
Love it.
there wasn't really anything that existed to do that. So Allie's part of the curating team with Becca and I, and she's a great film photographer here in British Columbia, where I'm living now, and
Awesome. Great.
chatted
I'll
out.
tune in.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again
Of course.
that, and have a good holiday weekend coming up, because it's you guys have your
Or Independence Day.
yes, you have your guys big birthday celebration coming up.
Appreciate that. Well, again, Marlon, this was great. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, hopefully get to see you in real life sooner than later.
Yes, the next Paideia or the next Polacon, something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, make it out to Polacon. It's the trip.
Definitely.
And Denton is actually a really nice place.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, everyone, will stay safe. And
bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye, Marlon. Thank you.